Alright, I know when you come across, you're the first one or two people across the line, on the race, you just totally do.
All right, here we go. So the game plan for this race was to sit in, not do a lot of work. The rides before, I'm always really hesitant. Like, to be honest, I just don't want to crash. I'm always worried about crashing, but I guess that's just something I got to get over, racing more. This is my eighth race. I've gotten multiple thirds. Last race before this was the Murrieta Grand Prix. I got eighth. I put the video up on YouTube. Got a lot of comments saying pretty much like, pull your brakes too much. I'm diving into corners dangerously. I'm doing too much work. So I'm trying to improve that on this ride. Putting my trust in the fellow riders and hoping everybody does their part and doesn't take me out. So the game plan was just sit in, grab wheels, and just kind of be top 10 coming into the last 2 laps, and then kind of see where my cards fall. But at the beginning of the race, they announced that there were going to be premes, and typically in Cat 5, they don't give out any premes. Typically, you don't get anything because it's Cat 5. So they're giving out actual premes, and so I was excited. I'm like, dude, I want to get a preme. And so that was kind of my plan. Let's get a preme. And they told us they're giving us 5 premes, and I think we only did 11 laps, 12 laps, so it was almost every other lap they gave out a preme. And so that was my plan, hopefully to get 1 preme. But again, like, trying to do too much work. And I actually thought a preme wouldn't be as difficult as it was. I worked pretty hard to get this preme. So right here, just sitting tight, and the ring in the bell, I'm like, oh my gosh, dude, lap 2, we already got a preme? Okay, well, here we go. So trying to figure out where to go, trying to grab some wheels, and just kind of stay up front, not get caught in the pack. This course was pretty cool because it was a lot of it was downhill, then it had a little uphill before the finish, and the finish was pretty flat. The night before, I actually was watching, I usually typically before I go to race, watch the races on YouTube the year prior just to kind of get a feel for the track and kind of how the race plays out typically. And lo and behold, I show up to this race and it's a different course. But being Cat 5, you start early in the morning, you actually get to warm up on the track. So right here, I'm going to make the move, try to go to the front, get some clear space. I literally did not think it was going to take this much effort, but you see I put in 900 watts, 700 watts. It was a good effort. And I thought I was just going to take this effort and I was be able to sit on the front and just kind of, 200-300 watts kind of cruise it. But no, dude, they were gunning for the preme. But I thought at this point, like, yeah, I got this. No one's going to really challenge for it. No one wants to do too much work. So I put in a little bit of effort to get up and over the hill. And the power, I have such a problem with this Virb software. I don't know if anyone else does. To get the power to sync right, it takes so long to get the power in your video to sync right. And you can see the mile per hour gauge isn't working. Like, it's tacking up, but it's not reading. Okay, so this guy passes me, and I did all this work. I'm like, oh, geez, man, I'm tired. So I was going to give up. And then at the last minute, I'm like, I recommit. Like, you see, I pause, and then I'm like, dude, just get it, dude. It's right there. So I touched him out. And the preme was pretty cool. It was actually really nice. So I got 2 pairs of socks, and in the socks came with $20. So it was well worth it. I thought it was cool. But totally threw my game plan out the window. I was super tired after that because I put in probably, I don't know, maybe a minute's worth of over 500 watts and big surges. I'm no Justin and Corey Williams out there, so I can't pop off 1,000-watt power bombs throughout the whole race. I did that one and I was pretty gassed. So right here, they thought we had a little bit of a gap from the preme lap. And so they're telling me to go, go, go. So I'm saying, all right, let's go. And so I am tired. And so I'm trying to sit on this guy's wheel. I haven't looked back yet. I'm like, okay, do they say we got a gap? So let's go. So I'm trying to work with them. And then right around this corner, I'm going to take a peek at, where this gap supposedly is. It's like 3 bike lengths behind me. And I'm like, no, not happening. This isn't going to stick. So I put in a little bit of effort here. And then once one guy kind of comes up on me, I'm like, whatever, let's get back. And now I'm looking to recover. I am looking to recover. I am smoked. So I'm gonna cruise on back right now after this preme lap and try to kind of recover, but stay in the pack and not lose too much ground. But I end up almost getting all the way to the back. But I tried to make my way more towards the front, towards the end. So the hard thing about, I don't know, I think Cat 5, because I stuck around later and I watched some of the other races. I watched the Pro 123, the Cat 5. Like, we don't really, it never really forms up to be much of a peloton. It's more of just like this giant blob. And like, people are always like, dude, grab a wheel, grab a wheel. But like, there's no real wheels to be grabbed. Like, you grab one guy's wheel, and before you know it, you're like, dude, this guy's going too slow. And so you got to hop off and grab another wheel. And it's just this giant cluster of just jumping from wheel to wheel. So it's kind of tough when you get to the back to grab something that's steady, because if you grab the wrong wheel, you're going to have to close a gap. I do end up finding a steadier wheel towards the end of the race. But right here, yeah, so this guy right here, it's Cat 5, so you get these like helper guys. So the guy to my left is this helper guy. I have my hands on the hoods. That's just how I feel comfortable riding. And he's like, put your hands on the drops. I'm like, all right, whatever. And I know, sure, you have more control or whatever, dude, but like, I ride majority of the riding with groups and local rides and shop rides, just hands on the hoods, but whatever. I mean, whatever. So I'm sure I'm going to get comments, oh, you should always have hands on your hoods. There's more control and more this and more that, ready to have your hands on the brakes. But I always got my hands on the brakes when I'm on the hoods, not the drops, but whatever. So now my hands will be on the drops for the rest of the race. But yeah, it's kind of weird. Those guys just kind of pop in and out and just kind of cruise around. And I don't know. Sometimes I feel like they're just in there to kind of like try to show off to the Cat 5s. Like, look, I can hang in your race. I saw them later in like the girls' race in the back, and I'm kind of like, what? Like, why are you in the girls' race? But whatever, to each his own. So grabbing a little brake here. I tried not to grab so much brake. You can tell when I grab the brakes because people have told me it sounds like birds. Somebody asked me once if I made my brakes purposely sound like that. But no, I did not. So yeah, this little grade, what was nice about this grade was it kind of allowed the group to regroup. So if it got a little stretched out, it was pretty easy to catch back up. If you went on the inside of that uphill, you had to start, pedaling pretty hard from the bottom. But if you swept it really far outside, it gave you some time to kind of recover, and it would actually regroup better. So again, I am pretty much towards the back of the race at this point, but I'm not too worried about it. I can see all the way up to the front. I feel I'm getting a little bit more recovered. Look, another preme lap, dude. They're just all day long. And every time I hear it, I'm like, nope, not doing that again. Not doing that. So yeah, just trying to settle in and find a spot. Again, this course was really nice. It has zero like rain gutters, no anything. It's all just really nice course. I was really pleased with it. And for being in LA, you would think it would have been a little bit more of a rougher course, but actually the road surface was really nice, especially compared to the Murrieta Crit. That thing was trash. and I'm just watching this for the first time for playback, so I'm just kind of just giving you my own thoughts as the race pulls out. Again, grabbing some brake. I'm all over these guys' butts. I know people are like, just coast to the turn, but dude, I'm not. I don't want to run into somebody. I have no idea how good some of these people are. But again, so I take the inside, and you know, when you take the inside, you got to pop off, you know, quite a bit of power to stay up. So I'm going to move up because I don't want to be towards the back. I want to move up towards the front, grab some better wheels. So I'm trying to gauge myself because come to the last couple laps, you end up having to go a little bit harder. So I'm just trying to ease my way towards the front. Yeah, and part of the reason that you want to get the preme is so the guy announces your name when you cross the finish. You know, that's part of the game. To get your name yelled out over the loudspeaker. And I'm not like a... I mean, I probably ride about 5 hours a week. A lot of it's on Zwift. Typically do like one Zwift race a week, and then 2 or 3 more Zwift rides, and then maybe 1 outdoor ride a week. So I can get in maybe 5 to 6 hours a week. So I don't have like this crazy training regimen. I would just say I'm kind of just an average cyclist, you know, in my opinion. I know I got 1 more race after this, and I should be going to Cap 4, so looking forward to that. Hoping it's going to be a little bit more, I don't know, organized, I guess. Yeah, again, I'm grabbing tons of brake. Maybe I could have gotten away with it. It looks like I had enough space, but, you know, I guess I'm still learning here. Yo, this kid was so tiny on my right, man. He ended up being in the junior races, so I don't know. There's in Cat 5, that's the one thing. There is just everyone of shapes and sizes, from young kids to, you know, older gentlemen, bigger people, smaller people. And so that's why I feel like it's really hard to grab a wheel, because you have no idea who is who and who's trained what and who's first race and stuff like that. So it's kind of an interesting race as they always play out. So again, trying to move up, trying to get more towards the front. I want to say there might be 8 laps remaining. Try to squeeze in here. It gets a little bit narrower as you get close to the finish. Yeah, looks like they got 12 minutes on the clock there. Another preme lap. Apparently someone was getting the most of them, but I swear I had to go way too hard for mine compared to what I'm seeing right here. Alright, so getting up front here. I don't want to be on the front. I want to find a wheel. So I'm kind of searching a little bit right here. And then I end up grabbing that guy's wheel to the left on the white Specialized. He's got, looks like the Alez Sprint. It's got those cool forks, like a kind of like a rainbow fork. He ends up providing a really good wheel later down the road. So right here towards the front, now my whole objective right now is just going to be able to maintain up front. Don't give up too many positions. That way when it comes to the last lap, I got a fighting chance of getting on the podium or trying to win. My last race, I had a pretty good sprint. I only got 8th place, but I put out really good power, so I was really happy with my power lately. So I knew if I was within top 10, I just knew if I was within, a couple bike lengths of people in front of me, I would be able to, get a good position with my sprint. But I am a little bit iffy now because of my my preme lap I took. And you know how it is before a race, you kind of eye people. I kind of eyed this kid on the Specialized bike as being a kid that's going to provide a good wheel. And so pretty much right here, I think I commit to it. And yeah, I think I ride his wheel almost the rest of the way. Another preme lap, dude. They're just giving those things out. So I end up riding his wheel. He gives me a good wheel. I'll be honest, this is the best wheel I had in any of these races, because he was solid. He was solid. He maintained his lines, and so I was very happy with him. And you kind of feel douchey about it when you draft somebody, because you're like, man, I'm letting this guy work, 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 and I should help out, but I'm not going to. So thank you, sir, for providing the good wheel. Again, he was a good rider. He was solid. He was strong. Yeah, dude, this kid he's just cruising away. I'm happy to sit on his wheel because you can kind of tell like this guy's going to be strong. He's going to be able to move up positions as the race goes on. So I wasn't getting too worried about these guys passing us. I figured, this guy's going to be pretty solid, looks pretty good. So I just kind of sit on his wheel. So at this point in the race, I'm feeling pretty comfortable. I feel like I've recovered pretty well, especially now I've found a decent wheel. Like he's not making me surge. He's holding super good lines. This was kind of one of those races I kind of like realized, like, dude, it would be super nice to be on a team, kind of work together. But then again, I feel like a Cat 5 team, you got guys all over the map on skill and ability and training. You kind of want someone that is going to do you good on a race, and they're not going to give you a bad wheel to follow or get dropped or let a gap open up. So, I don't know, maybe somewhere down in the future. But it's a lot of work to work by yourself, especially if you don't know what's going to be a good wheel or not. But, again, this gentleman provided a good wheel. Like, that was another preme lap. There was no way that guy had to work as hard as I did that first lap. Maybe it was just because it was the first lap or second lap that it was just guns a-blazing for that preme, but I am not going for the first preme ever again. That was a huge mistake because I didn't see what my wattage was, but it didn't look super high to get across that line, and so that kid barely just kind of popped us off right there just to get the preme. And so, yeah, I guess, you learn every time. But I didn't want to be that guy that got that preme, and then 2 laps later he's getting dropped by the whole group, and he's like, oh well, that guy got a preme, wasted all his energy, and now he's done. Again, I probably should have went around and helped this guy out, but I didn't because I wasn't going to do that. I was just exhausted. I do go around eventually, kind of give him a little help. I don't think it was very long, but again, dude, we're putting out some serious wattage right here, man. We're cooking it up this little climb. I'll be honest. When I'm in these races, in this race in particular, I didn't think there was anyone strong enough that was gonna solo breakaway. I just didn't see it happening. I've been in a few Cat 5s where there were like pro mountain bikers in it, and I guess they had to be in Cat 5, and they did do some solo breaks, but I didn't see anything happening that made me worry enough to like jump around this kid and jump on someone's tail. Like I was happy to sit pretty much right by his tail. So he flicked his elbow a little bit. I'm going to give a little pull. I give it a little bit. I don't think I go for very long if I recall correctly. But again, at this point, once you pass the finish, it's downhill. So it's not super difficult at all. The only hard part is the finish and the uphill before. You got to go pretty hard. Other than that, this part was always pretty chill. You see doing 190 watts, you know, and then we start cruising it way down as we get to the corner. So if you positioned yourself right, you could carry all the momentum going up and down these hills. Yeah, so this was the guy that made me sprint for the preme, came around me, and I'm like, oh, it's you again. I'm going to sit on your wheel. Made me work that hard. And dude, this guy would just go for it, and I thought, dude, you are going to just... I just thought he was just going to get super wiped from all this work, but I'm not sure how he ended up doing. So again, no one really going super hard. I just want to have good position for the end. I don't care if I'm up front at all for a little bit. I'll put in, you know, some average watts, 200 and something, and I'll happily let someone go around me, but I'm not going to just kind of let up. I'll just kind of keep my pace going, keep a smooth power going, and then just kind of see how things lay out. So getting close to the ends here, I think we only got a couple laps left. And so 2 laps remaining. And so I am going to try to hold my position as best I can. I do put out a little bit of effort to do it, but I didn't want to get buried in the pack like I've had in the past on the last lap, giving it position. So I'm going to guard the inside a little bit more because I don't want anyone coming underneath me and taking me out. I know I should take wider lines, but I just, you know, I was like, whatever. I'm not going to give up an inside because I'm not going to get someone to dive bomb on me. You know, does anyone else not want to wear like energy drink stuff, like Monster or like Red Bull stuff, because you feel like you put a target on your back? Or is that just me? I just feel like if you wear any of that gear, people expect the moon out of you, and like they want to try extra hard to beat you. I didn't notice he had Monster socks in the race, but I'm just noticing that now. Because then people are always wondering, are you sponsored? Are you not sponsored? But I want to beat you if you are. That's just my opinion. Alright, so we're coming into the last uphill climb for the last lap. Positioning is key, so take the outside just to kind of carry my momentum. And I think a guy ends up taking off, and I end up just sitting on his wheel real quick. So there's that guy again that was made me work real hard for my preme. He's just digging. I thought there's no way. When you see someone's head drop like that, to me it's like the telltale sign of like they're done. Okay, so this guy takes off. And I could just kind of tell from the beginning, like, no way, he ain't making it. But dude, just ride this champ as much as you can. So I do that typical dick move. You get behind him, and you start giving him words of encouragement to go when you know it's not possible. So there I am. I'm cheering him on, go, because you know I want us to go as fast as we can, so no one comes up around us. I just keep telling him he's got it. Yeah. So it gives it a little bit more effort. I'm just like, oh, what a dick, dude. I can tell he's tired, but, you know, he served his purpose. So, all right, so now I'm kind of more up front a little bit. I can tell he doesn't have much left. Coming to the last corner in the climb coming up here. I know it's going to be kind of a scramble. Now, looking back at it, I should have probably went a little bit harder on the climb. Because I do start to get past a little bit, but you know, things happen. So guys coming up on the left, I'm on the inside, so they're gonna have better momentum. I should have grabbed that line, but I didn't. I do end up carrying okay right here, but I should have looked. I didn't look. So now I'm putting in some serious wattage, you know, pumping into the thousands right here. I kind of get boxed in right here, so I kind of got to check up a little bit. And I am going, dude, you freaking got to get a podium. You got to get on the podium. And I'm already counting the people ahead of me. Like, where do I got to go? Where do I got to go? There's the guy with the white bike. I know he's going to be solid. So right here, I gun it, baby. Let's go. I don't think I have any power on this thing. So the power's totally off right now. As you can tell, this is not 200 watts. And I out-touched this kid on the Specialized bike. Barely get it. That was third place right there. I was pretty okay with that. Yeah, I could have done that last corner better, but it was okay. So crazy thing that happened just around this corner. So I don't know what happened, but the guy on the motorcycle, the guy on the motorcade that guides us around, ends up running into one of the guys in a race. But I don't know what happened, but that's what happened. So that was this week's race, third place. Power's still going off the charts again. I struggle with this Virb thing, so hopefully next time will be better. So thanks for watching, and look for you guys' comments below to the critiques, and you can do this better, or you suck, or blah blah blah. You almost made me crash kind of crap. See ya.